Welcome to 5 Minutes of Momentum. These episodes are a short 5-minute burst of inspiration, motivation, and massive action. If you need that little kick up the butt to get things moving and to inspire you to take massive action, then every single Thursday I'll be sending you through a 5-minute episode to download, digest, and implement to finish your week off strong. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Can we talk about the pressure to have it all together? I feel like this is something that every woman struggles with. I feel like we have the pressure as a woman just in general to have all of our shit together and expect it. I see it a lot in the mum space where they're supposed to have every part of being the perfect mum and the perfect wife and the perfect house and everything's clean and all the things. And then in business, we see it as well, especially with the highlight reel of social media. We see everyone else giving us the highlight reel. And I say that because it's exactly what it is. They're giving you the best version because people don't want to buy from mess, right? People don't want to buy from a place of being like, she doesn't know what the hell she's doing or doesn't look like she has her shit together. So it makes sense, but sometimes we subconsciously take it on board to be like, well, then it means that I always have to be perfect. I always have to have my shit together. And I want you to know, it's not the case behind the scenes. Recently, I saw a post, I think it was a reel by Jane Liu, who is the owner of Showpo. And I just loved it. It was a de-influencer real trend, and it was speaking to, as a $1 million business owner, these are the things that she doesn't do. And one of them was feeling like the last piece of the slide was talking to, I never feel like I have my shit together. I never feel like I know what I'm doing. And I absolutely loved that transparency. And what I love about the way that Jane leads is that she doesn't actually often lead with knowing her shit. And she actually honestly champions her team and champions other people around her. And that is how she keeps it all together. And I just love that about the way that she shows up. Honestly, I feel this pressure. I honestly feel this pressure. And I feel like it came from my past experience with different industries that I worked with. As a hairdresser, when I first started out, my first trade was a hairdresser. And so one of the things that was grilled into us was you can be a mess in the back room, you can have your whole life falling apart, but as soon as you step onto the floor and you are there with a client, they should not know anything about what's happening in your personal life. They should not know that you are a hot mess right now. And so that was very much ingrained in me in a very early stage. And then I went to work on cruise ships, and they were 7-star cruise liners, which meant we have a really high expectation for our guest. And the expectation of us as well was very similar in the way that you could be a hot mess in the back end of the ship. If you were in the crew area, it didn't matter what you looked like and whatever. But as soon as you stepped into the guest areas, you had to have full makeup, full uniform, and be on. And what I mean by that is that you had to be available and on for guests at all time. And the customer service, the expectation was very, very high level. So I feel like that's absolutely blended into also the way that I show up on social media and the way that I show up in business. From a different place though, it's not that I'm faking it or anything like that. It's actually that I'm there for my clients and I'm there for my audience, and it's got nothing to do with me. So I can have, I'm a human, I have things happening in my personal life that obviously impact the way that I show up in my business for me, but that never ever shows up for my client. Does not fucking matter what is going on. And I feel like that's also what helped me get through challenging times when I was taking care of my dad when he was really sick and going through his cancer treatment, and also when we lost him. I took time off to grieve, but grieving goes on for years. That type of grief goes on for years. And so I still had to show up, and I learned to compartmentalize and put my client first and their needs first beyond my own. And I feel like that definitely benefits me in business, but there's definitely some areas where I feel like it feels uncomfortable to be seen in the messy, in the uncertain, while you're still figuring things out. And one of the things that I'm noticing a lot with social media at the moment is that with AI coming in and having this perfect way of creating curated content, people are not wanting that anymore. People are really wanting you to show some of the wounds or show some of the things that you're still figuring out. And so learning to share from lived experience, not perfection, is starting to be something that I'm really leaning into. And so I guess the first piece is just recognizing that perfection isn't actually something that we need or is required of us in order to do business well. And knowing that you don't have to have all your shit together. And I feel like the hardest part about it is that because we've curated this space online that looks like it's perfect and looks like everyone's killing it, that when we actually sit in our own lives and in our own businesses and things aren't going to plan, it can feel even worse. And so this is obviously why I love running masterminds, is because we have that space to be real and to be vulnerable and to bring your stuff to the surface and be like, you are human and everyone else feels exactly the same. None of us have our shit together completely, right? None of us know everything.
majority of us are still trying to figure it out. And I think you have to remember that, right? And it's not about getting it perfect. It's actually just allowing yourself to be seen and be heard in the mess, as well as like recognizing that you can still lead without pretending to have all the answers. Like I never ever pretend to have all the answers. And I'll say that to my clients as well. Is like, I'm going to do my best to find the best answer for you if I don't have it. And I'm going to do my best to share with you from my lived experience and from my place of the world. And that's the best that you can do, right? It's the best that you can do. So you can stay in integrity over image. You can create space through honesty. And honestly, like that's where growth comes, is through the mastery of it. Is like anytime that I've felt like I've had to look like I've had my shit together, like if I've shown up in masterminds where, and I've done this before because this is my biggest lesson, is like one mastermind that I joined, I invested over $10,000 to be in this mastermind. And I thought like, okay, I better not show that I don't know what I'm doing, right? I better not show that I'm like earlier than a lot of these people in business. And I can do that in a way of like, I'm confident in myself, right? But in the times where I didn't put on that front, in those times where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to share exactly where I'm at and what I'm struggling with right now, those were the times where I got the best support, where I got the best answers and the best strategies in order for me to scale. And that's every time I have my groups start within my masterminds, it's one of the first things I will say to them is like, don't come here with all of your shit together. There's no point in hiring a coach if you are not going to show up and be vulnerable. There's no point in hiring a coach if you're not going to show us what's happening behind the scenes in your business. It's not beneficial. You're not going to get the best out of it. You're literally going to be at the end of the container going, oh, nothing's changed, because you weren't honest and you weren't vulnerable. You are going to get the most out of it if you show up and be like, this is everything. Put all your cards on the table and be like, how can you help me? And then that's where we can create incredible transformation. And it goes the same with yourself. Like, you cannot create change if you're not willing to look at those parts of yourself and be like, hey, where am I not doing the best? Where am I holding myself back? Where am I playing small here? That's also where you're going to get the biggest transformation. So can we just let go of this expectation that you have to have all your shit together, because you do not, and it's unrealistic and it's unsustainable and it's not going to get you to where you want to go. It's actually being clear of like, hey, I'm a hot mess, but I'm making it work. So anyway, I hope that you liked this episode, and I hope that you take away that pressure to that expectation that you should have it all together, because you shouldn't. You should be figuring it out and be okay with figuring it out along the way.